Hello, everybody. AOG Gaming here, back with another video on Dislyte. So, again, the update isn't going to be much for free to play, so it's really sad. I keep saying that even if you can get it with wish stones, that does not make it free to play, especially with the new Divinate system where wish stones are, well, it's split. So, I mean, y'all have to go do your own research, but they've already disproven the whole 50-50 toss up with the coin thing and how it works. So do your own research. But yeah, there was a whole study done on it, but it's like a double pyramid. That's what I was saying. It's a binomial distribution, not a normal distribution, because it has two peaks instead of one. Well, technically three if you count the valley in the middle. So the first peak would be for the people who get the least or get more espers rather than divinates, and then the second one's for people who get more divinates rather than espers. And then in the middle would be the people who get half and half, because there's a thing where, and it also is per the amount of draws you do. So the less draws you do, like below 50, I believe, for 10 draws, this is for the gotcha system itself, you actually get less wish stones. But if you do more than 50 draws at a time, and just like within that draw, then, sorry, I was drinking some water. Then if you go over 50 draws, it actually becomes higher and higher chance of it being a normal distribution, because, a 50-50, because of how the 50-50 works. So yeah, basically less how the 50-50 probability works, now that they've proven it and they've actually done tests. I don't know how they did that, but yeah, there's a Nobel Prize for it apparently. So oh, actually, don't quote me. I don't know if there was there a Nobel Prize. All I know is that scientists have disproven the fact that it's not a 50-50 all the time. That was the conclusion, but I mean, we already saw it obvious before, so it wasn't a conclusion. It was just, well, this is what we always get, so this is the answer we're going to say, because it converges to a 50-50 when you're tossing a coin, which is what the study was on. Tossing a coin is not actually a 50-50 all the time. It's just overall, it is a 50-50 because of how it's labeled as, how the parameters are set, which is a 50-50. Sounds like I'm spitting a lot of things that are exactly the same, but basically, all you have to think of it is that it's basically an M, like on a chart, and then the bottom line. So, like if you think of an XY graph, just bear in mind, I know it's a lot of math. So just think like an M, but it's like two curves. So basically, two parabolas that are upside down and then stitched together in the middle with the smaller parabola, and then that's where the 50-50 is actually at. But that's actually less people. So less people in this game will get half espers and half divinates, just because of how the 50-50 works in probability, because that's just how the probability works. The problem is there is a difference between the amount of whales and the amount of free-to-play people. The thing is, Dislyte, if they want to get free-to-play people back, and also just the average player base that is not going to be paying a ton of money for the game, because obviously the game is not free-to-play friendly, so even just not paying not just paying a little bit is not going to get you anywhere really. It's just the smallest boost to your account. But the real problem with that 50-50 is that there is a lot more of those people than there are whales, and people who are going to spend a lot of money. And when you do that, that actually is creating divide. So here's the thing, right? I can hardly get 100 tickets usually before the next Esper is released, because I'm so busy getting the Esper that they just released. So even if I did just save up and skip the Espers, which I did for Hilda, but I haven't gotten Farah, and I haven't gotten Nora, because those are two units that are speed, cleave, control, counter, whatever. I already got that. I already have a well-built espers on my team that are capable of doing all of that, and they were both wind espers, and I already have a well-built Fafnir team, so I'm all set on wind. Actually, I'm doing better in Fafnir than APAP, which is hilarious. I can't auto 16 yet, so yeah, that sucks. But we'll get there eventually. But this is the problem, right? So when we're going back to the 50-50, more of the whales are gonna have more espers just because of their drawing, and that's usually how it should work. Just like in game, like you should be getting more legendary espers as the game progresses, but the amount you're getting for the progress you'd make is just negligible. Like I get maybe 3 legendary espers, and that's with the draws that I do before they release a new esper, which is just sad. That's like a what 3 weeks in between each esper release. I think the last few have been faster. I think because they've been losing money, but the problem is because they're trying to just make money. They're not trying to actually release content. They're just trying to make money. So they're releasing better and better stuff, but yeah, I mean it is what it is. So the rant is gonna last this long because I'm not sure this game is gonna last long enough anyway. And we're gonna get into why that is. It's because the new update again didn't address anything for free to play. Creators keep saying you can just wish stone it again. That's for accounts that are like level 60 and above, because getting wish stones before that is hard. And then going back to the gacha, like I was saying, when you do more than 50 draws, it's actually a higher chance of getting legendary espers just because of how the 50-50 works. But there's also a lower chance, which is weird. So it's like a high percentage of people that are either going to get more espers or more divinates, but most people are going to be on those two extremes just because of how the 50-50 works overall. And the people who are in the middle are going to be the lucky few. Those are the people who are doing between 50 to 100 draws like every once in a while, which is where I'm starting to get to, which I see that it's fine, but the problem is again, Dislyte, you can't get new players and bring back all the players who are like below a certain level, 60 I would say, because they are they are basically screwed by the system. They either get super lucky and get legendary espers, or they get super unlucky and they get less espers and more divinates, which means they get less wish stones, which means they can't get any new content. Then we get to the divinates, right? They're fine, but you can't really upgrade them, and they're all late game content anyway because you have to do falsetto fantasy. And again, that content is actually really goddamn hard because you need specific espers built. So it just screws over the beginner players, and they haven't addressed it in the last 3 updates that the Divinate has been out. It was on the PTR server, and I count that as an update because they told us that it was going to be on the PTR server for longer. They lied, they took it off, and now they're wondering, oh, where's all our money? Well, it's not in your pockets because why would we put our money there when we know y'all are just going to abandon this game? And that's the other problem, right? It was the whole thing where they were working on AFK Journey, and this game has like, or there was content in there that was suggested for here, or content that was suggested for Dislyte that was put there. So it's just like, why why aren't they doing the one thing that's going to fix their game? And that is, you have to make legendary espers a lot easier to get. Oh, okay, actually that's perfect. I'll just get this one. We're not gonna go over this. I'm just doing random stuff because I'm trying to speak, but also give y'all content. Okay, so first, but again, I have to realize I'm talking about specific stuff and I have to go to it. First, what they can do is they've already given you a free Jinyu Yao and a Phantom Sisters. Literally every other Esper in on this list, you're able to get R6. They even give you a free R6 Shimmer. They stopped this. They could add more espers to this list, and I think that is literally going to be necessary for Dislyte to recover this specific part, because like you're not going to be able to play the game otherwise. And what they have to do is give you epics and legendaries for different types of content in the game, like they have done. I don't understand why they didn't continue this, and why I say they need to keep adding new espers every time they. So for every new esper they add, they have to add a new esper to this because of the chances. Like right now, it is so low to get specific espers. It's like less than a 0.025% chance. Like just think about that. It's literally less than a even less than a quarter of a percent. Like it's just a ridiculous amount that you have to grind to get a specific esper. So I think adding espers that are super useful to this list, it doesn't have to all be legendaries. That's what I'm saying. It can be epics. You already have the red and I mean, you already have a lot of epics actually that are pretty easy to get in the stores. So honestly, this should emphasize more legendaries, but it's the only thing that's going to help you recover this light. I'm sorry, but it's the fact that there's not enough support for early game, and you need enough legendaries to feel like your account is progressing, and also so you can do stuff. R6 Jinyu Ya would be perfect for content, for PvP content just in general, and also content in general. So having her at R6 for free would be amazing. That just that in itself, just that one Esper would probably bring back a lot of your player base, because now their Jin Yaos will be maxed. Also, Phantom Sisters maxed that would be amazing. You already give us Lucas and Camille, and we know why you did that, because they're mediocre Espers. Even at R6, there are other Espers you can use better at R0. Like, it goes back to this thing, like, why did you decide to do this and only give us like two really solid espers, which I say is Jinyu Yao and Everett. Every other esper here is either niche or you use them in specific places. Phantom Sisters is good, user in specific places. Alexa is good, but again, user specific team comps. Dead as well, because she doesn't really benefit other than freeze. And Everett is obviously good everywhere. Camille, she's kind of just an AoE debuff character. That's all she is. And she's really not that useful until you get her to R6. So yeah, it's kind of just like she's really not that useful, and they really make you work for that R6 too. Like they really don't want you to have that R6. And Lucas is really easy to get, but he doesn't do much from your account other than be a speed cleave unit. If you need some AP control and your speed cleave with some stun, he's your man. Otherwise, I mean, he doesn't do a lot of damage. He barely controls unless you put the tyranny set on him. Like he does not much. So they could add more stun to his kit, but again, that's going more into divinates. But yeah, the one thing that Dislyte needs to do to revive this game is separate the divinates and the legendaries ASAP, but still keep the 2% chance for the legendaries in both. And I know Dislyte's gonna be probably very against this, just everybody who is developer, but your game is going to die regardless. So doing that, because again, there's already a ton of games out there. Mobile Legends Adventures. There is, um, again, well, Outer Plane Night. Sorry, my brain farted. Watcher of Realms. Like there's a lot of games out there that are gacha based that already have a 2% chance for a legendary hero itself. Not even the divinates, just the heroes themselves. Because the divinates don't do jack shit. I think that's what Dislyte needs to know. Is that they don't do jack shit, especially for the epics and rares. They don't do anything unless you got the Esper basically maxed out. Because you're not going to max out the Esper unless you fully ascension them. Like, that's usually what you do. So, it's just something that they didn't take into account. Like, it's a problem. All right, I'm gonna have to go over the patch notes, and I'm gonna do that soon. But I just need to say this, and people need to be spreading my videos, not just because I want money and I need. Well, not that I want it. I kind of just need it at this point to survive. um, but it's mostly to get this message out for the developers and show them this is their last chance. For everybody who still loves the game, because it is a good game, but I mean I can't say that it's not a good game. there are some parts about it that are amazing, and there are a lot of parts about it that are disgusting, horrible, and ruin everything that is good about it. But the part that is good about it is still like deep in my heart, and I can't let go of it. Problem is that it's starting to be come to the point where if you don't let go of the game, like it seems like the developers aren't going to listen whether you stay or not. So just leaving would basically affirm that they cannot get away with just doing what they want. And I think that's what we should do. I know it's sad, I know it sucks, and everybody wants to continue playing Dislyte, but if they're not going to listen anyway, when we literally scream it at their goddamn faces, literally have creators quitting because they won't do what we asked them to do, then we just stop. We don't associate with them anymore. We just don't do anything. And it's going to be sad. We can still play the game, but that's only going to cost them money. That's what I'm saying. And that's what's happening right now. People are still playing, but they're not spending money. And this side is like in panic mode, releasing Lilith games, Farlight games, whatever. They're in panic mode, releasing more and more espers and content that is not free for everybody. I want it to be where day one you sign in and you can see that and grind it. So I think that's what they need to add here. More legendary espers that you can get and are useful in content. So, for example, you could add Alice to here because I you don't get copies of Alice anywhere else, and you want people to wish stone for her when it's already impossible to get wish stones. That's another thing they got to change, but that's probably going to take more convincing because they apparently want to keep the gacha as horrible and detrimental as possible. Like it's really that goddamn simple for companies to change the gacha. It would take them literally 5 seconds, and in return, the game would instantly boom. They would make money, and the game would be that much better. Like I don't understand. Just make your gachas like look at Mortal Kombat. They had to do it just to keep the game alive because even the whales were getting sick and tired of the shitty packs. So now it's like a 7% chance for a diamond, or which is like their best character. What happened to that in the rest of the fucking gacha industry? Like I'm starting to see like Mortal Kombat Mobile got a lot better to the point where it's actually viable free to play. Yes, it still takes forever, but it takes less time to get diamonds, and really it's just tower content that you're pushing for, like late game. So yeah, it just like there's a lot of games out there that have already adjusted to this, and they're becoming better. They're already getting better. And I think the developers are realizing we're not going to take their bullshit anymore, so they got to make the game at least viable for the average player. And that will only be possible if you make it completely viable for free to play because the average player will not pay money for the most part in your game unless they are fanatics about your game, but that can't happen if your game is paywalled to the maximum, which is what this game is. All right, I'm going to need to go over those patch notes, but I definitely have to go over the Wishstone thing. So they need to add Wishstones to everything. If they're going to keep the Divinate system with the gold records, they need to add Wishstones to the to the divinates themselves, because if they don't do that, then it's going to be very hard. So this would just reset it back to normal, and I think that would be great, but I don't think it's still enough because even then people were still complaining about wish stones, and Dislyte didn't change it, which I don't understand why. Like if your players complain about something, you should just change it automatically, especially if it's something that's like no sweat off your back and is not going to lose you any money, and in fact it's going to gain you more money. Like who is your marketing person? Because Farlight games, Lilith games, if you make me your marketer, I can make you billions in like a few months. Not even, probably a month. It would take me a month to bring this game back to the top. It would probably be up there with Honkai Star Rail and all those other games just because of its uniqueness. It is the only Mythos game out there that is not a scam. Because most Mythos games, I'm talking about gods, like gods gotcha, are literally scams because they're made by like Chinese companies or by some random ass person who sold their game to a Chinese company, or just the company that is scamming you out of the money because they're made quickly. Again, all these names and legends are in, you know, history and mythology, so they're very easy to get information about, and you just build kits around their personality or whatever. It's super simple to do that. This light has completely turned that around and done their own thing. The problem is that they think their own thing is the hottest shit on the market, and it's literally just pixels. It's megabytes of information on a phone. I think they need to realize that. I 100% agree that Mortal Kombat is would be worth thousands of times more than this game because it gives you much more. You're connected to everybody. It is much more well balanced. Yes, usually they take a while to balance, but even when it comes out, it's still a lot more balanced in games like this. So again, it comes down to the point, like they're killing the mobile gaming industry just in general, and it's their own fault because they won't listen to us. All right, that's going to be the end of my ranting because now I'm going to go over the patch notes, talk about who I'm getting, do my account review, and then call it a video. So we're going to go. We're going to stop with the negativeness because now they actually released really cool stuff, and it seems like they're doing some more changes to the game. Again, we're going to check it because, you know, the creators do a very skim view of it. I need to actually look at what they changed because for the most part it's not a lot. Okay, so we got Mikteka Kiwatl. I probably butchered that way. Mikteka Kiwatl, something like that. Very hard name to pronounce. Again, Aztec names. I love that they're bringing them in. Cool that it's like the Day of the Dead thing. So they're still on spot. Um, I guess Valeria was the only other Aztec deity we have. Really? Yeah, because it's I forgot her name already. All right. So anyway, we got Mavis, who's gonna be the only hero you want to get. She's basically but like Cecilia, but better, in my opinion. Cecilia is good, but she like one she she only revives on her death. All your entire team. Mavis will revive your entire team. She just needs to be alive. So it's like the opposite. But the thing is, Mavis can keep your characters on standoff, so even if they're dead, they're still alive. And your entire team, by the way. Not only that, but she also enhances her teammates' crit rate and crit damage. Like, they're basically releasing more power creep, and that is not a way to get people to play the game. Yes, it brings you short term clout, Dislyte. Like, people are like, oh wow, look at this crazy new Esper. But then they play the game and then they realize, oh, but unless I have it R6, I'm going to lose. So what's the point of playing? It's again that. And the problem is that, again, people don't have access to any of these units. I think when you release a new unit, if Dislyte is the one game that does this, they will probably be the best gacha game. Like, I'm hands down, I'm going to say. Because if they do this one thing, give a free legendary Esper, whatever the new legendary unit is. And if you do, well, actually, you don't probably have to do that. So you give the free unit, whatever the better two of it is. You should always do the support unit if you're going to do that, or controller, I would say, because fighters are good, but they're usually only useful for people who are not early game, like beginners. Because I would say if someone starts the game free out and you give them like 2 or 3 free legendaries, they're gonna immediately be hooked on the game. There's no way they're leaving this game. But and also if they get that every time that you guys release an update, like that's the thing. Why don't these gotcha companies do this? Give you a free copy of the new Esper that comes out. Like, people would be fawning over these games. I don't understand. Whoever is doing marketing for these companies doesn't understand the consumer base at all. And that's why they're all dying. And I'm actually here for that. I'm happy that they're dying because scum like that should die. They don't understand that money isn't the only priority in life. All right. Stop with the ranting, Alex. So she deals damage to one enemy based on attack, increases AP. Second ability, Undertaker grants all allies crit rate up at the start of Mavis's turn. Yeah, that's not broken whatsoever. She gains AP on her first skill. This okay, so now she's just pushing herself so she can get her third skill faster. I'm probably gonna put Ocean Set on her. I think it's probably the best one, and I'm probably gonna stop upgrading my Ashley with her skill ups because I do have her at R2, so I was just gonna max out her skills so that I can get better rotation and I guess better speed down chances on her basic. Because God knows I'm gonna get all five of definitely all five legendary Billimons there first because that's how the game works. Um, when a teammate takes lethal damage, prevents them from dying and grants them Graveless. When teammates land a critical hit, Mavis gains one stack of Carnival Heat, triggers for limited times per turn. Okay. There are so many characters in the game who can land the critical hit. By the way, I've already seen these patch notes on other creators, but I wanted to take it in depth because I kind of glossed over it. Like I just heard them talking, I was like, "Yep, basically they're doing the same shit they've been doing, which is not fixing the game or like barely doing it, like the bare minimum, like of stuff that we asked ages ago, and then releasing a ton of pay to get content." Like telling me an Esper is worth 100 wish stones so that it's free is not free whatsoever. You got to grind for that, and also you got to be a certain level. Otherwise, getting those wish stones is just close to impossible. So yeah, it's just like there's too much in this game that's bad that they need to fix for it to be popped off like this. Like if they made me the marketer and they listened to everything I said, because I would be talking to the community and asking them what they wanted, this game would be at the top of the charts right now, 100%. Like, come on, hire me Lilith Games, hire me Farley Games. I will make your game a staple of gacha. It was going to be, and it was for a little bit, and now it's dying. I will make this game a staple of gacha. And for one reason, because I will listen to the player base, for one. And for two, I will actually play the goddamn game and experience it myself so that I can actually make logical and well researched decisions on marketing. What your marketer should always be, because that's how you know they're level headed. Whoever your marketer is, they're a goddamn dumbass. They're stupid. You should fire them right away because they're not doing a right job. Obviously, the last 7 updates can speak for themselves. Um, all right, let's move on because I keep going back to that. So immune to standoff, which is interesting, but cannot be revived upon death. Removes Graveless from teammates and grants him Soul Parade. Wait, so Carnival Heat. Okay, well, it's not telling me what it does. Okay, so now Carnival Heat will not be removed in subsequent rounds, stackable with the limit. Each time it reaches a specific number of stacks, deals damage to enemies based on Mavis's attack. Okay. So her and Archibald, because Archibald pushes your AP with the certain amount of Carnival stacks. So having both of them on the same team is going to deal more damage and push your team's AP. Yeah, totally not disgusting and definitely what the game needed, you know? I'm not even going to talk about Anna. Yeah, I'll go over her patch notes, but she is literally the downfall of this game. Toland and her. Because again, who's going to want to play your game if those are the two espers? And also, you're not able to get them for free whatsoever. You got to pay to get them. I don't care what you say. Even if you saved up those Shimmer records, I'm pretty sure you grinded your ass off, and at that point, it cannot be called free to play because time is money, and you just spent literally a goddamn 5 months grinding for those just to get pity and not get the Shimmer you wanted. So that's another thing too. They got to make Shimmer records basically as viable, basically as half as the gold records. Because right now they're like 1% of the gold records. That means that for every 100 gold records you get like one Shimmer record, and that's like if you're lucky and you're good at the game. You got lucky to get the right espers, and you're good at the game, so you're good enough to get the Shimmer records. And that's like once a week, maybe every 2 weeks. Otherwise, you're not getting Shimmer records. The only way to get Shimmer records is getting for free below level 100, as far as I'm concerned, is Shimmer shards from the club store. So again, them releasing overpowered Shimmers and just they rebalanced it, which was just them making the Esper stronger, is not going to fix the game. In fact, it's going to disincentivize players because again, you're releasing more Espers, which is making it harder for the gacha. Okay, I need this bitch to shut up because now she's just singing her ass off and I need to speak. God damn it. Uh, yeah, I mean, like, what else do you want me to say? So yeah, the new espers, they just worsen the gotcha, especially if they're broken, because that's all people are going to be pulling for. And when they get that, everyone who doesn't have that on their account instantly gets pushed down lower in leaderboard content, ladders, because of the power creep of the espers. So yeah, like this happens every time I record a video for Dislyte. Like, I can't say anything else, but this game is going to die, and the developers will not fix the game unless they hire me. So if people start spreading this video and they actually hire me, then I promise the Dislyte community, if they hire me as a person for just changing the game and making it better so that people will actually come on and play the game again, I guarantee you I can make this a staple of the gacha industry for probably 10 years. Like, no kidding, this game could probably last for that long if it was done right. But they've done everything wrong in the last few updates, and well, all I can say is it was fun while it lasted, but it was horrible while it was horrible at the end. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's you, not me, Dislight. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, she's gonna revive your characters, and if Soul Parade increases crit damage and resist, oh my god, turns into Graveless. Otherwise, all buffs are cleared. Okay, and then Graveless, just you're immune to standoff and cannot be revived, and you can't be targeted. I'm pretty sure, so you can't be healed either. Also, party deals damage to grants Soul Parade to teammates with Graveless, removes their Graveless, and grants holiday rest to the rest of the teammates. Wait, no way. Take true damage based on the current HP. Wait, so I'm confused. So I think she revives your team, but they just die afterwards. So it's like a one-time revive as well, which is still kind of broken because they come back and they can just do what they want for a few turns. Yeah, and then there's more stuff. She restores HP. She deals damage, inflicts seer and speed down, increases their AP. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. Holiday rest increases critical damage. Okay, and chance of taking critical hits. Okay, we're not really gonna go over resonance and stuff. Actually, we're pretty much gonna end it here. There's Mictlantecutli, 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 Mictlan. Okay, yeah, that's a very tongue twister. I may be Aztec, but that's like maybe 200 years ago in my family, or however frig long ago that was. Um, Yeah, these are still really hard to pronounce. Okay, Archer builds first ability, Silent Spirit deals damage to one enemy, two enemies face attack. Each hit has the chance of inflicting silence for 2 turns. Okay, that's his first ability. Is that just a guarantee silence for 2 turns? Yeah, definitely. There's no power creep whatsoever in this game, and it's not on crack whatsoever. I'm rolling my eyes if you can't tell, which you probably can't. Damage based on next few lines. Okay, each hit has a chance of inflicting buff blocker. Okay, that's good. Damage based on each hit has a chance of dispelling. Okay, yeah, dispelling one buff. So basically, he's the counter cleave. He's the other counter cleave to your unit. So Mavis will keep your team alive and revive them if the enemy team is faster. Archibald will dispel the buffs. So I'm assuming he will be better than Apollo because everyone knows that they nerfed Apollo to the ground. There's no way you can't tell me that there's a passive buff that makes him miss because he is just such a horrible dispeller. It's not even funny. Um, so Archibald is gonna probably take that place, and then you got your TA for speed control. You put her on the light set so that she doesn't get controlled, so that you can speed cleave. counter speed cleave basically once your Mavis is able to revive your team or whatever. Or you could put Cecilia as well to like there's just so much disgusting. There's too many revive mechanics now, and Anna's also a reviver, so yeah, Archibald is going to be very good, and I'm going to be trying to get him and Mavis, but Mavis is my priority. I have 100 wish stones and about 40 draws, a little bit more than 40 draws, so hopefully I can get a close to 100. I don't need Archibald now, but I just want to get him sooner rather than later so that I can start testing, content with him. Anyway, y'all will probably see me later tomorrow around this time for this video, and just tomorrow in the morning for other videos because I'm done recording. There's too much shit going on, and I mean, yeah, this game is dying, and there's nothing that's gonna fix it other than for either Dislyte to listen to us finally or hire me so that I can fix their game because I will 100% make it better. Anyway, as always, thank you everybody for watching. Um, if you're enjoying my content, please like and subscribe. Really shows your support, helps me out, keeps up to date my content. 131 subscribers last time I checked, so y'all are amazing. Keep going. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. As always, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.